Hello, and what is going on, Elder Scrolls Nation? Skullzi here, along with my co-host, Samantha.
Hello.
Hello, and this is Scribing the Scrolls, Episode 4. Yeah, we still exist. Anyway, a little bit of an update on the podcast and the channel. If you've been following my other videos, you know we had a few things going on. I was sick and da-da-da-da-da. But recently, we've hit 5,000 subscribers, and because of that, we are doing weekly uploads now, including this podcast. Scribing the Scrolls will be every week. If it'll miss a week, I'll let you guys know, but that probably won't happen. There's always a lot of stuff to talk about Elder Scrolls. Even if there's not Elder Scrolls 6 news, there's a lot of stuff we can infer, and there's always something to talk about with Elder Scrolls. Now, Panda's still part of the podcast.
We still heart Panda.
Yeah, we love Panda. He's still gonna be with us. He's not gonna be in this episode because he was not able to make it. He started a new job, and he's a hard worker, so he's gotta get his schedule together. But he's still gonna be on the podcast. So don't worry, pandas are not extinct yet. And along with that, something else that we'd like to start doing with Scribing the Scrolls is maybe having other really big fans or content creators, YouTubers, Twitch streamers, whatever. We want you guys to join us on episodes of Scribing the Scrolls as a guest host. That means you can join us via Skype or however you want to do it, and you'll be part of the podcast for an episode.
It's still something we're kind of trying to put together. It just is more interesting with more people.
Yeah, and I want to get other people's opinions and stuff out there. I don't want just to be us, me, Samantha, and Panda. I definitely want you guys to play a part in the Elder Scrolls community. I want to get other opinions out there, other ideas, because that's what makes the world interesting, is all the different people with all the different ideas. So if you're interested in joining us on an episode of Scribing the Scrolls as a guest host, send me a message on Twitter, or you can email me at workwithskullzi@gmail.com. So yeah, send me a message on Twitter or email me at my Gmail. You can find that on Twitter as well. Now, anyway, let's get to Scribing the Scrolls, Episode 4. So, recently, we have been playing Elder Scrolls Online. I can only kill Elduin so many times in so many different remastered versions of Skyrim before I get tired of that goddamn dragon's head falling to the ground. So, we've done Elder Scrolls Online. Samantha and I are actually playing it together, and we do have a guild. We play on the US server, so I'll say if you're interested in joining a guild, you can get a hold of me on Twitter or comment below. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to talk about what we like about Elder Scrolls Online, what we don't like, and that means you're probably going to hear me go on a rant. And then we're going to kind of compare it to Elder Scrolls in general. And then at the end of this episode, Samantha and I will feature and respond to some of your comments. So, what do you think about Elder Scrolls Online?
Well, I really like it so far. I played WoW for some years, so I mean, we started playing because we wanted something that we could play together. I like that you don't have to subscribe to the membership. And I'm leading somewhere with this. It's good enough to play without, however you don't get to craft and stuff, and you even get that in Skyrim. So why wouldn't you have the bag space to be able to do crafting without the membership? So I guess that may be a qualm that Skullzi may have. I look at it as also the perspective of the amount that you pay for the membership. You get that back in Crown, which, yeah, they have a store, like small transactions, blah, 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 but you get the extra crafting space. Now, here's the other issue I have, even though I don't think those are direct issues. The servers, definitely something needs to happen there, because I chose to go ahead and get this membership, but yeah, I haven't been able to get on for probably 2.5 days this week. I understand updates, patches, they're necessary, but they need to have some kind of schedule. Because if you're a part of other guilds and you want to be a good contributing member, and how are you supposed to be able to get on enough to make money to keep the game going? If they want it to grow, they need to do something.
Yeah, real quick, for those of you who don't know, Elder Scrolls Online, you have to buy the game to play it. But before we get too far into this, I'm sure some of you may not understand this. The game is free to play. You can buy it. You still have to buy it. But you don't have to pay a membership like World of Warcraft and some of the other MMOs. However, they do offer you the ability to pay a membership that goes along the same prices of World of Warcraft, more or less, that gets you an Elder Scrolls Online premium account. Now, you don't have to have this account to play the game. But you do get some bonuses, and the bonuses are you get, like Samantha said, you get your money in crowns, which is in-game currency that allows you to buy non-combat pets, mounts, you know, just aesthetic
Things
stuff.
that you can't save enough gold for.
You get double storage space in your bank. That's a big one, and that's probably the biggest one that you get in terms of affecting the gameplay. Another thing that you get is a bonus to experience gain, about 10%, which I guess affects the gameplay in a kind of large way if you want to hurry up and
Now
level up.
there's in-home storage with the latest.
Yeah. But one of the important things I wanted to touch on that you mentioned earlier, in case people don't understand, is that in the Elder Scrolls Online, if you get premium, you get access to a crafting bag, which means all your crafting materials, and oh boy, there's a lot of fucking different crafting materials in this game. The crafting system is deep. But all your crafting materials will go into this crafting bag, which has infinite space, and they don't take up your inventory space. That's a big one, and that's one of the bigger reasons people get the Elder Scrolls Online monthly membership. Now, a lot of people say that, oh, you shouldn't have to pay money to get the crafting bag. I like to complain. Shut the fuck up, okay? If you've ever played Elder Scrolls, you don't get a goddamn crafting bag. All your shit goes into the same bag that the Dragonborn pulls behind him, or however he carries his stuff. I don't even know. Maybe he shoves it in places. But anyway, it all goes in the same place. Your crafting stuff goes in the same place as everything else. Elder Scrolls Online, if you pay a premium, you don't have to do that. It goes in the endless crafting bag, and that helps a lot.
We actually just got in-game married with the, what was it? We have
It's a Ring of Mara, but you need the Scroll of Mara to do the ceremony. So yeah, whenever we play together, we get extra bonus experience and all that stuff.
There is a downside to it, though. It takes a ring slot, which means you're sacrificing improved stats. So
yeah, so you instead of having a good ring with abilities, you have to just wear your wedding ring. But you know, whatever. Let's talk about. I'm sure first of all, before we get too far into specific gameplay things in Elder Scrolls Online, a lot of you are listening to this who haven't played it may want to know how it compares to the single player games. Now, you all know how I feel about multiplayer in Elder Scrolls. I don't fucking want it, and when I say that, I mean in the core Elder Scrolls games, Skyrim, Morrowind, Oblivion, and Elder Scrolls 6. I don't want fucking multiplayer because that's my opinion. I've stated it before, I just think that too many games are going the route of multiplayer, But that's a video for another day. So keep that in mind when I say I do actually enjoy Elder Scrolls Online. And before I get any further into that, I want to say that Elder Scrolls Online does not take away any time from Bethesda Game Studios. Elder Scrolls Online is made by ZeniMax, not Bethesda Game Studios. So they don't really have anything that they do in regards to Elder Scrolls Online except for maybe attending a meeting and giving direction. But all of their actual game developing time and effort goes into what Bethesda Game Studios is making. Starfield, other mysterious projects, and hopefully eventually Elder Scrolls 6, and then, you know, Fallout,
I want to open a can of worms. The question of how lore friendly is ESO.
We're going to get into that too. I don't want to give the answer yet, but that's something that we're going to get into this podcast, because that's a lot of things people bring up, is that it's completely lore friendly. And you know how obsessed and hard I am for the fucking lore. I love the lore in Elder Scrolls, so when I give you my answer, remember that too. But anyway, back to Elder Scrolls Online and how it compares to the core Elder Scrolls games. It feels like an Elder Scrolls game. Obviously, you know you're in an MMO world because a lot of people are running around, and it's not as immersive because usually there's not people sprinting around in different directions in the core Elder Scrolls games. But you have to keep in mind this happens in a time and place in Elder Scrolls lore that is both very interesting and chaotic. So I'll get into that later too. Hang on, my computer just did a thing and it's not stopping because it has a mind of its fucking own. Anyway, so yeah, it's an Elder Scrolls game. The crafting is different than other Elder Scrolls core games, but it's good. It's really good. The quests are actually good, and oh man, the writing is
still good.
The writing's almost, dare I say it, better than some of the quests in the Elder Scrolls core games. Every single quest in Elder Scrolls Online, almost, I am just taken aback by both the level of detail and the aesthetic and just the emotion in some of these quests. It's so good. The quests are so damn good. And Sir Dix-a-Lot is nowhere to be found. You can find funny names, but surprisingly, they either fit the lore or they just make you chuckle, but there's no Sir Dix-a-Lot. So I guess I was wrong about that. Now, it is still an MMO, so you're gonna have the normal shit where, oh, some guy sees you going for a chest and he's faster than you because he doesn't lag, so he gets it first. So yeah, you got all that kind of stuff. But in terms of, is it an Elder Scrolls game? Man, it kinda is, but obviously it's not a core one. So what do you think? You want to touch on that? We'll get into the lore-friendly thing in a bit. But
Oh, I hate to say, if you wanted to put them on 2 different levels, I would just say it's a generic.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's like a generic Elder Scrolls, but even that's good. Now, I'm not saying that it's better than any of the core games. In general, I still would rather have Elder Scrolls 6 and 7 and 8.
I think though, honestly, the writing is what sets it apart from other MMOs for me. Because there's been plenty of times where it's like, oh my goodness, that is like fucked. So, I mean, it's just so good.
Yeah, they do a really good job at the writing. And they don't shy away from some of the bad stuff. Like, if there's kids in a family, those kids are probably killed in front of the mom, and she's telling you every detail about it, and it sounds fucking amazing. The writing in this game is so good. And in terms of MMOs, that's always been one of the worst things for me, because I liked WoW for a while. I played it for like 10 years. But the writing was so fucking dumb. Oh, okay, you're the superior hero who fucking killed all those dragons and defeated the Burning Legion, and you've been to other dimensions, and you have an artifact from a god, and you're level 500, and you have 2 dicks. And well, what kind of quest do I have for you? Do you see that guy 10 feet away? Bring him this book! Like, I'm like, what the and the writing just doesn't make sense. Like, there's so many loopholes, and it's corny as shit. Like, we're proud elves, and because we're proud elves, we like gold. Can you find gold for us proud-ass elves? It's just, man, like,
yeah,
none of the,
I got over it with the corniness, I'd say.
And cartoon, yeah, and even cartoony, the graphics, the big graphics update, it made it look even more cartoony. All it did was let you have cartoons in 4K. Thanks, WoW. You know, WoW was fun. It was good while it lasted, and then it died when they made it accessible for people who drool on themselves in their sleep.
No, it was done when they made it with, what was the last expansion?
I don't
we
even
got
know,
it and
man.
stopped playing.
I don't know.
But basically where no, it was after that.
Oh,
oh, whatever it is. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, you bought it and
something?
you get a
Anyway, yeah, go on.
level 90.
Yeah, you can get max level character.
Like,
just buying it.
And then that ends up screwing the dungeons and stuff, because you get people in there in your level bracket that are not trained with anything.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get a tank who doesn't even know what a tank is.
I mean,
so
that's
awesome.
a little bit of the there's a similar problem with that in ESO from all the experience buffs that are available. Like in the crafting system, it's so intricate because you can research traits through all the different weights of armor and different weapons and stuff.
You can get experience boosts.
You have to accumulate so many traits before you get special sets and all that.
Essentially, there's different traits. When you make an item, there's a gemstone associated with that trait. Let's say the ruby gemstone. If you make a piece, if you make boots with a ruby, rubies give you plus 10% or plus whatever to like resistance. And then there's a trait for like
training, which
gives you experience, extra experience. So like you can have boots that give you 10% experience gain, and that's cool. I mean, that'll eventually get you level faster, and some people don't like that. However, I would say in Elder Scrolls Online's defense, compared to most other MMORPGs out there, it's not necessarily beginner friendly. You kind of have to have somewhat of an understanding of either the RPG group dynamic or MMO dynamic, and to go even further with that,
skill points are ultra limited, so you
need to plan your shit.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're fucked, and you're gonna have to get some way to reset your skill points and then spend like 5 hours redoing them. But that's your own fault. Elder Scrolls has always been kind of smart with spending your skill points right. Until they went legendary, and then you could max stuff out. But anyway, Elder Scrolls Online is not the most beginner friendly, but that doesn't mean that it's not good. It's good. It's actually it's difficult in terms of you have to pay attention to stuff, and not only that, it's kind of unique in terms of an MMORPG, because while there are classes that give you extra tools in your toolbox to do things such as tanking or healing, any class can do it. And the classes are, there are classes in Elder Scrolls Online, but they're very, very base. That just gives you like an idea of your starting point of what you want to be, but you can evolve it into a whole bunch of stuff. You can make a rogue, which is called a Nightblade, and have him do destruction magic. Like you can do all sorts of cool stuff in this game. You can tank with a rogue, heal with a rogue, same thing with sorcerers, and it's actually pretty good and unique, and you can play the character you want to play just like you could in the core Elder Scrolls games. If you want to be a whole bunch of stuff, you can be. Granted, you have limited skill points, so you got to keep that in mind.
You can get sky shards for that.
And do certain challenges, like
Yeah.
daily challenges. Oh, sorry, I just hit the cord, so you may have heard a noise there. Now let's talk about, before we get into the lore-friendly thing, because that's gonna kind of be a crazy thing. Let's talk about shit that we don't like about Elder Scrolls Online. I have a fucking couple things. I have a fucking couple big-ass goddamn stupid fucking things. First
Here
of
you
all,
go.
no, it's bullshit. Okay, so check this stupid-ass fucking shit out, man. I'm sorry for cussing, but no, I'm not, because fuck this, man. They have a system in Elder Scrolls Online. If you're familiar with World of Warcraft, there's the online auction house, where in a game where there's fucking hundreds of thousands of objects you can type in to search for it using letters in a keyboard, which has existed since like the fucking 80s. But in Elder Scrolls Online, in their guild trade stores, you can't search for shit.
Unless you have an add-on.
Yeah, you gotta get a goddamn add-on to type shit in. Otherwise, you gotta click through all these fucking menus to look for a recipe, scroll through pages of shit, and then you buy the recipe you wanted just to find out that it has 3 different letters at the end of the fucking recipe, and you wasted your gold. It's so stupid. Who the hell who the hell releases a game when you can't, in 2018, an MMO, when you can't type into the fucking auction house to search for shit? That is basic stuff. That's like saying, oh, I should get an MMO to name my character. I should get an MMO to look at my inventory, or I'm sorry, I should get an add-on to look at my inventory. Fuck that shit. That should be in the basic goddamn game. You should have the ability to search for stuff using letters in a fucking place where there's a million things. What the hell were you thinking, ZeniMax? And not only that, but you've put forth update after update. You've added fucking, you shoved dragon bones up our asses. You gave us fucking time clocks and dwarven cool things. How about the ability to fucking search in the auction house? And don't you dare tell me to get the fucking add-on, ZeniMax, because that is basic level MMO shit. And now you want me to keep going? I'll do it! There's another thing in the game that's complete bullshit. When you're researching traits, you have to, I'll show you footage of it. When you're it should be playing here. When you're researching traits, you have to, there's no organization to it. You have to search through all sorts of fucking cloth
Unless
feet.
you get an
Unless you
add-on.
get an add-on! I don't want to get a fucking add-on!
Which, for the record, I do have add-ons, and he does not.
I shouldn't have to get an add-on for basic things. I understand if you want me to get an add-on so that I have better meters for damage, or to see damage, or if you want me to get an add-on that will remember where I mined something so I can look at the map and remember,
Yeah,
oh,
this makes sense.
that's where ebony is. But an add-on to search in the auction house using words instead of just
I do
clicking on a
agree.
whole bunch of shit and hopefully I find it. Dude, that is fucking, not only is that lazy, but that's goddamn ignorant. I love you, ZeniMax, and I like this game. But from someone who understands game development in the gaming industry, someone who has played MMOs for over 15 years and RPGs for even longer, what the fuck are you doing releasing updates to this game without putting that shit in that fucking game?
I am really irritated about the new, in the newest update, how they're charging for dyeing your armor now, and it's ridiculous. It adds up a lot. Like, if you have a regular job and you can't play 8 hours a day or whatever, just to dye your armor would probably cost you what you'd make in 2 days worth of playing.
Yeah, I don't know why they added that. That's a little stupid.
I think it leads to the
thing.
microtransactions, unfortunately.
The thing with Elder Scrolls Online, though, is most of the microtransactions don't really hit gameplay too much. I mean, they do in the sense of the crafting bag and a little bit extra experience.
You can...
But compared to other games like WoW...
You can buy currency to buy experience scrolls, buy your potions and stuff.
Yeah, but the experience scrolls, they give you like 15% experience, and you still gotta level up, you still gotta learn shit, and you still gotta
Yeah.
play the game. WoW, you can straight up buy, here you are, you beat the game, now go raid and not know shit and piss everyone off because we want money and fuck the players. Thanks, Blizzard, but no, Blizzard's one of the best developers. Yeah, they do a good job at making fucking money, don't they? I like their games, but holy shit, man. Fuck that fucking playstyle. And I'm glad that Bethesda's doing a Save Player 1 campaign, because that kind of shows us that the core Elder Scrolls games are probably safe from both microtransactions and multiplayer. But for the love of God, you're releasing updates and adding fucking Cyrodiil and shit to Elder Scrolls Online, but I can't type in fucking shit in the auction house? What the hell's going on there? I'm so fucking serious. What the fuck are you guys doing in ZeniMax Studios? Have you ever played fucking an MMO before? Do you really think people want to fucking search for shit like this? What the actual fuck? Seriously, I just really can't fucking get it around my head that you've added like fucking 5 updates and expansions, but you don't fucking have the ability for me to type in a fucking search bar using letters for shit. If I want a fucking recipe, I gotta go to the food recipe, provisioning food recipe, and then search through fucking things. There's only 20 things on each page. It's not alphabetical order. There's no real organization to it, and you're assholes! Add the shit for me to search. If I see fucking more updates about this game, and included in that list is not the ability to fucking search for shit in the auction house, I'm gonna find a fucking bus and eat it! Fucking put this in the game! God damn it, I gotta settle down now. That's the rant, guys. I told you there was gonna be a rant. Oh, fucking add the thing into the game. Sam, is there anything you wanted else to say about Elder
Well, I
Scrolls?
was just thinking about before I even got the add-on so I can track everything that I've researched and stuff. I was keeping serious logs in notebooks, trying to keep track of all my crafting stuff. So, I mean, there are some things that I think maybe they could have added in to track that stuff a little bit better, but that doesn't even compare to your rant right there.
Man, you know, I don't know what it is. Maybe ZeniMax knows that the modding community is really good for Elder Scrolls, so they felt like they get lazy with the most basic aspects of an MMO's UI player interface. Maybe they're all doing skooma, and the guy that was supposed to do it, like, got kidnapped by the Dark Brother. I don't know, man. This is just... Why the fuck don't you... You've added updates to the game. You've added Dark Brotherhood shit. You've added, like, Clockwork City. Maybe in Clockwork City they can figure out a way for you to fucking search in the auction house without an add-on. Anyway, let's get the hell off that topic. So, let's get to lore friendliness in Elder Scrolls Online, because I'm sure that a lot of people don't consider it a true Elder Scrolls game, because there's a lot of people claim it's not lore friendly. A lot of people outright say it. A lot of people think they have proof.
Well, there is contradicting events.
Now, there is something I will say, and if you're interested in this, make sure you pay attention to my video that should be coming out on Thursday, because I talk all about this stuff and Elder Scrolls 6 regarding this topic. And I believe Elder Scrolls Online is lore friendly, and I know that's going to piss a lot of people off. Keep in mind, I still don't think it's on the same level as the other Elder Scrolls core games. Like I said, it's generic level. It's still part of the lore, though. And even though you can't find shit about it in a lot of books in-game, even though it seems like other stuff happened during this time period in recorded history, people say that that's why this isn't true. There's no mention of all these different factions. Yeah, Dragon Break, motherfucker. This game literally is the only Elder Scrolls experience that takes place during a fucking dragon break. And the reason is because it actually directly involves the dragon god of time himself, Akatosh, who is attempted to have been corrupted using the Amulet of Kings by Mana Marco. Mana Marco's done this in lore before. He's tried to become a fucking god, so he used this other group of people. One of them was an emperor. I can't remember his name. Anyway, one of the emperors and Mana Marco and the battle mage and a couple other people were claiming to go to this ritual with Mana Marco's help, using the Amulet of Kings to try and get Akatosh to bless this emperor as one of the Dragonborn, so that way the dragon fires can be lit and he can be an accepted ruler in the dynasty of the Imperial Empire. However, Mana Marco this whole time was tricking them and was planning to ascend to godhood by corrupting the Amulet of Kings during this ritual, which he did, and he tried to corrupt Akatosh himself, which he hurt Akatosh. Now, as you know, in recorded history, if you don't know this, I'll say it right now. In recorded history, there have been several dragon breaks, and they usually involve Akatosh or something like that. My next video, I get deep into dragon breaks, and I even talk about them in regards to Elder Scrolls 6. So if you're really interested in this topic, make sure you stay tuned for Thursday when I get into that. But essentially, a dragon break is an event that is so cataclysmic or involves Akatosh in a way that it kind of breaks time. It makes a separate part of reality, separate from the timeline that we know. And then eventually it forces itself back into one timeline, but not everything is forced into that timeline. A lot of information is lost. For instance, there is a recorded dragon break where it was said that people birthed their own parents. A Cyrodiil was an egg. Crazy stuff happens. You can't find records of this anywhere except for just random little snippets. Dragon breaks are the reason why you can find multiple books in the Elder Scrolls games that have contradictory stuff about history. That's because those happened during dragon breaks, and all those things actually happened. The reason the dragon break was created was because in Elder Scrolls Daggerfall 2, that game had 6 different endings, and for Morrowind, they wanted an easy, clean slate where player choices weren't messed with and where lore and time was steady. So they created the dragon break event that had all these different realities happen, where all the different endings happened, but then they were forced into one timeline again. So because of the Dragon Break event that occurred when Mana Marco tried to corrupt Akatosh, it created a Dragon Break. That's why you can find books from other time periods in Elder Scrolls Online, like the Lusty Argonian Maid. That's why there's a lot of different heroes running around. That's why a lot of stuff is a little off. It's because it literally takes place in no timeline of the Elder Scrolls universe. But it does. It's separate from time and space. But eventually it's not. Like I said, dragon breaks are hard to explain. You just have to keep in mind it's kind of like a time warp. It's kind of like messing with time and reality itself. It happened, but a lot of the stuff may not be recorded. And not only that, you're playing from the perspective of a player who is essentially not dead, but not alive. So who knows how he views the dragon break. But because of dragon breaks, that I am leaning that Elder Scrolls Online is more likely lore friendly than it is not. Because all the kind of weird stuff in Elder Scrolls lore, or Elder Scrolls Online, can be explained by a dragon break. In fact, one of the very first fucking phrases you hear from the Prophet, who is your main quest guy in Elder Scrolls Online, he tells you, you're not supposed to exist. This is all a wrinkle and a rip in time and space, and soon it'll all be gone. What the hell? That just says Dragon Break right there. So yes, that should probably happen in the second era. And I believe that Elder Scrolls Online is lore friendly because of Dragon Breaks. Now, like I said, I try to paraphrase this as much as possible because Dragon Breaks could be a whole 20-minute video on their own. But my next video is going to be about Dragon Breaks. I'm going to talk about what they are in detail, all the recorded ones, and I'm going to go into deep research about what the heck happened in Skyrim regarding dragon breaks and what it could mean for Elder Scrolls 6. So what do you think about, do you have anything you want to say about this whole dragon break Elder Scrolls Online thing?
No.
Okay, I just wasn't sure. I know it's kind of crazy, but do you understand the dragon break thing? Like, you saw me research. It's really intense. It's a real thing. I know this sounds like some flat nerd stuff. No, dragon breaks, if it wasn't for dragon breaks, Elder Scrolls lore and the Elder Scrolls universe as we know it could not be. Dragon breaks play a very important part, and it figures that they would use it in Elder Scrolls Online to make it lore friendly so that players who are known to be extremely immersed in Elder Scrolls lore wouldn't be completely turned off by it. But still, you have people that think they fucking know everything about the game that say it's not lore friendly, and they probably have never heard the term dragon break ever. However, I want to know what you guys think about all this. Have you played Elder Scrolls Online? Do you like it? And what do you think about the lore friendly thing? Keep in mind, if you're not fully understanding about dragon break, stay tuned until Thursday. You're gonna get a video about dragon breaks then. And yeah, so that's Elder Scrolls Online. We kind of like it. We understand it's not the same thing like the core Elder Scrolls games, and at the same time, we don't think it's going to take away from Elder Scrolls 6. Hell no. It's not even made by the same people. Yeah, you heard my rant about it. There's some stupid shit about the game that they really need to fix.
Yeah, I'm irritated by some things, particularly about not being able to log on for 2.5 days this week because the server for PC and Mac kept being down. But, I mean, I'm not going to stop playing.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep making fun of them though until they add the ability for me to search in the goddamn in the guild trades, which is pretty much the auction house. What the hell were you thinking, ZeniMax? Did you forget? Seriously, man, did no one really beta test this and tell you guys that was horrible? I don't believe that. I know it sounds like I'm going crazy about something, but that is such a basic aspect of a user interface in an MMO that has so many items and has player stores. Anyway, let's look at some comments. Okay, this is one that was really interesting and that Sam and I really wanted to respond to, actually. Skullzi, I'm sorry you're gonna be 40 in another 10 years, but I'll be 60 in 10 years. I'd really love to see the Elder Scrolls 6 sometime before my twilight years. There's a reason some of us are a bit impatient. For one, I'm not getting any younger, and at this rate, at the rate these come out, I'll be lucky to see the Elder Scrolls 7 before I expire. Now, this one actually kind of hit me a little hard.
It's crazy to think there could be franchises out there that outlive us.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a real thing, but for people who love the Elder Scrolls so much to think that you may only have one new Elder Scrolls to play in your lifetime, that should fucking slap Bethesda in their fucking face. Yes, I understand from a creative perspective you claim you're tired of making the same stuff over again. But people love Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls is not Fallout. Fallout's good, but fuck Fallout. Elder Scrolls is something legendary, something unique, and something that we probably will not see an equivalent to for a long time. Everyone wants to talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance. Man, that game is a fucking simulator. It's a medieval simulator, a buggy one, and the combat sucks. Don't even compare that game to Elder Scrolls. Bethesda, you are doing a big fucking mistake by not immediately releasing the Elder Scrolls 6 as your next game, or at the most, the game after that. If you want to make other games, get another development studio. Not releasing Elder Scrolls is ridiculous. It is what made you who you are. Everyone associates Elder Scrolls with Bethesda Game Studios, and I understand. I'm an artist. You get tired of doing the same thing, same universe over and over. But you've created something amazing. What you're doing is just pissing on that, and you're making people totally turn away from you. People like this, do you think that they're gonna pay as much attention to your games if they get one every 10 to 12 years? You're saying you have 2 new projects before the Elder Scrolls 6? It takes you 3 to 4 years between games for that to come out. 2 new projects, that's 8 years. Elder Scrolls 6, another 4 years. 12 fucking years. So what are you gonna do? Then make another game after that, and another game, and then maybe another Elder Scrolls? Are you saying every 10, 12 years we're gonna get an Elder Scrolls? If that's what you're saying, fuck you. I love you, and I'm probably still gonna get the game, but what the hell, man? What the hell? This guy is gonna be dead before he can probably play 2 more Elder Scrolls.
Oh, don't get too grim.
I'm not trying to be grim, but I'm trying to poke Bethesda in the face here. Don't you get it? They get so pissed off at people talking about it. I understand. People can have a big ass voice, and they can be pushy, and they can be stupid, and they can make threats over games, which is ridiculous. But I'm telling you, you are doing a fucking big mistake by not focusing on an Elder Scrolls game at least every other game. You are. You're fucking yourself. You're taking skooma, and you're fucking yourself. See, here's another one. At this rate, we'll be dead when Elder Scrolls 8 or 9 comes out. Scary to think about that. And at this rate, that's probably how it's gonna go. So let's look at that. Elder Scrolls 8. That's 3 more Elder Scrolls. 12 times 3 is 36 years. Probably before an Elder Scrolls 8 at this rate. So I will be
past the age of retirement.
I don't know how much I'll fucking care anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you guys think that Elder Scrolls is gonna live on forever? You think that the next generation is really gonna care about a game that comes out every 12 years? Who knows how people are gonna be? People are getting more impatient by the generation, and that's just how society and culture is. And you think motherfuckers are gonna still love a franchise that comes out every 12 years? Even the people that love it? When they're gone, do you really think that the next people are going to love it as much? The people alive now are the ones that have played almost all of your Elder Scrolls games and love them. And you're just saying, oh well, we want to fucking paint a different picture. Alright, have fun. You're going to understand when your money doesn't come in quite as much. But that's cool, you guys probably are good on money anyway. Like I said, I know it sounds like I'm being an asshole. I love you, Bethesda Game Studios. You're probably my favorite developer, and I'm not trying to hate on you, but the thing is, someone has to tell you how shit is without making the stupid threats like some people on Twitter do and without sounding like an 11-year-old. I'm telling you from someone who has lived in this industry and loves it, and has lived in your games and loves them, that you're fucking yourself, man. Alright, we're just gonna do one more, and this is one I featured before. Abdullasaurus says, oh, that sounds like a dinosaur, actually. I wonder if he did that on purpose. That's kind of cool. Anyway, they say, perhaps that project was a new engine. Perhaps that third project was a new engine. Imagine if. And what he's she is referring to is Todd Howard and Pete Hines. They said that they have 3 new projects before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. However, it's recently now been reduced to 2 new projects. But what Abdullasaurus is saying is that maybe one of those projects is in a game and is in a new engine. That would be pretty interesting, as it seems like Bethesda has been using a rehashed version of the same engine since essentially Daggerfall. Not really, obviously, it's more like since Morrowind. They've made new engines and they just rehash upon the old framework. I think the new engine they're using now I think it might be the Creation engine. I should probably look into that. But what I think they're going to do for Elder Scrolls 6, at least by the time Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, is they'll have a new and improved version of that engine, or they're going to have just a completely new engine in general. I think the games are going to play the same and be kind of the same overall experience, but the engine is going to be more polished, is going to allow for new technology to make better shiny graphics and da-da-da-da-da. So yeah, I don't know if they're working on another engine now, but by the time Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, unless they're actually hoping to release it soon and they're just playing us, which I would love. By the time Elder Scrolls 6 is set to come out in like 10 to 12 years or 8 years or whatever the fuck, they probably will have a new engine. So yeah, Scribing the Scrolls is back. This has been episode 4. Remember, Thursday I'm going to have some really cool Dragon Break stuff video. It's going to be a good video. Also, I'm doing a t-shirt giveaway soon. I'll give you more information on that. It's going to be pretty soon. If you want to have a chance to win a free Skullzi t-shirt, subscribe on this channel, go to Twatters, and follow me on there, and then comment below. That way I know you've done all these things, and I'll write you down. I'm going to choose 5 people at random, and like I said, I'll update you on that later. Scribing the Scrolls will be every week. It might not be every Tuesday, but I will upload a video on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, so it will definitely be one of those days. I'm doing that upload schedule every week, so I will have 4 videos a week. This is some cool stuff. Let me know what you guys think about all this below. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode. We're going to try and go for somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour. If there's news and stuff, the podcast might be longer. But anyway, make sure you subscribe, Twatters, and do all the other fun stuff. Thursday, we're going to have the Dragon Break video. And as always, thank you for watching.
See you later.
Bye, have a great time.